This is WSAV News 3 at 10.
Good evening, I'm Tina Tyus-Shaw.
And I'm Ben Singer. Thank you for joining us tonight. It has been talked about for more than 3 years, and tonight, News 3 has learned construction of the Savannah Arena could soon be underway.
And we want you to take a look at this map right now. This is where the proposed multi-million-dollar project will go within the Canal District, and city leaders are now pushing to make it happen.
But News 3's Devin DeGretti is joining us with why it will now cost more to build. Devin.
Time is money. That's what Alderman Van Johnson says when it comes to the arena project, and other officials agree. In fact, there's a $50 million difference now from when the arena was first proposed, and the city is ready to put it into action.
The longer we wait, every year we wait, we're talking about millions of dollars that the price goes up just due to the market.
Alderman Van Johnson is talking about the new Savannah Arena. It was originally a $90 million project that will now cost $140 million.
We need to talk about getting this arena out of the ground. We have significant enough money to get started and to move substantially on this project, and so I want to see some movement on the arena.
Back in November of 2013, voters gave the go-ahead on the SPLOST that would cover up to $120 million of the project. And last year, consultants studied the economic impact and the cost of the facility. Even though the money has always been there, Johnson says the city has had too many other issues to move forward.
The city has gone through some shares of trials. We have a new city manager. We've had some turnover in staff. So I understand that, but I think we're to the point where people are tired. People want to see this happen.
People like District 8 County Commissioner Chester Ellis. At the beginning of this year, he pushed for the progress of the new arena, and he did even more so in this interview from last month, just before the Savannah Forward meetings kicked off for city officials to get feedback from the community.
It started to work on the arena. The voters have voted for that. The monies have been coming in, and so I'm hoping that they will go ahead and get that in place.
It's time for us to make this happen, and I want to see it in my lifetime as well.
City officials say they are ready to give the go-ahead on the project and could see a design by this time next year.
Well, Devin, I know a lot of people are interested in finding out how long it will be until the project is complete.
Yeah, consultants say that it could take up to 3 years until they could host a concert in the venue, and then they also said that that's a date cancels approve the arena.
All right, Devin, thank you so much.
No problem.
So as we mentioned, the arena would be in the Canal District. Another hot topic at today's council work session. Developers would like these 55 acres of land to mirror other parks areas like Daffin and Forsyth. And the arena would be built to mimic this neighborhood. Development would be separated into 3 phases, which is a 10 to 15 year vision. The first phase costing $41.5 million. This is a project the city just can't fund at the moment, but they do want input from the public. Those meetings are expected to happen within the next couple of weeks.
A public official is behind bars after being drunk on the job. Coroner Milton Alexander was called to the scene of a deadly accident near Augusta Monday night. Investigators say the coroner was drunk when he arrived. He is now facing a DUI charge.
We do not tolerate, it's a policy, no, there's absolutely, you don't partake in any alcoholic beverage while on call.
Alexander spent the night in jail. He could not post bond until this morning because his blood alcohol was high.
Former FBI Director James Comey wrote a memo outlining President Trump's request for him to end the investigation of National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. Sources say Comey was so appalled by the request that he immediately documented it and shared it with other senior officials at the FBI. The memo is the clearest sign yet of potential interference by Trump with the investigation into whether members of his campaign team colluded with Russian officials. Multiple White House officials refuted the claim today.
Around South Carolina, for the first time, the government is releasing videos of Charleston church shooter Dylan Roof speaking with his family members while in jail. The videos show 3 visits to the Charleston County Jail. Roof was sentenced to death in January. The first jailhouse video is a visit between Dylan Roof and his parents, Amy Roof and Ben Roof, just before his competency hearing began in November. His father asked him questions that seemed to be so that he can determine Roof's competency, asking, "Do you go back in the courtroom Monday?" To which Roof replies, "What's a courtroom?" Then, "What does the judge do?" As his father explains the courtroom and judge, Roof begins laughing. It becomes clear later in the conversation Roof understands that he is about to go through a competency hearing and he knows the facts of the case. Later in the conversation, the mention of Roof's attorney, Roof calls them evil, telling his parents, "Do not trust my lawyers." Roof also calls his attorneys crazy for thinking he has autism and says they're misdiagnosing him on purpose, to which one of his parents said, "In order to save your life." Toward the end of their visit, a conversation between Roof and his father leads Roof to say, "I'm going to do something even worse before it goes to trial." That brings his father to tears, and Roof tells his mother that he was kidding. His mother tells him, "Baby, nothing can be worse than what you've already done." Before the session ends, both parents tell Roof they love and miss him. Roof yells at his mother seconds before they're cut off, "I love you, I love you, I love you. Bye." Well, according to court records describing some of the videos, in one, Roof asks his sister if the baby she just had is transgender. In another video, Roof says the shootings were a year ago and any family members still upset should get over it. The videos won't be released to the public.
In our crime and safety report tonight, a potentially deadly threat facing police and other first responders. The new generation of synthetic opioids is putting more people at risk, as well as those called to help them. A little goes a long way in posing a threat to people who come into contact with these substances. They can be absorbed through the skin. But there is an antidote that's becoming standard equipment for first responders. Now they are being trained and armed with Narcan, a nasal spray that reverses the effects of an opioid overdose. The GBI reports fentanyl and carfentanil have had deadly effects in the Peach State.
These crop of synthetic opioids for us, it's unheard of. It's unprecedented to see these types of concoctions coming into the crime lab here in Georgia.
With fentanyl and carfentanil, it's a transdermal drug, so it can be absorbed through the skin. So what we've seen nationally and recently in some trends, that's an issue. It can put our officers in harm's way because if they touch it unknowingly, it absorbs into their skin, which could potentially lead to an overdose.
The GBI reports processing some combination of the drugs 50 times so far this year. These new opioids have caused 17 deaths to date, the same number as in all of 2016. First responders use Narcan nasal spray as an antidote for an overdose. Nielsen says officers in Savannah have used it twice to save the lives of overdose victims.
There are new concerns tonight about kids overdosing on caffeine after a 16-year-old South Carolina student died from drinking too much. Caffeine can cause elevated heart rates, increased blood pressure, and an irregular heartbeat. That is what happened to the teenager after consuming a large Mountain Dew, a McDonald's coffee, and an energy drink in just 2 hours.
Since 2007, emergency department visits in the United States have more than doubled related to energy drinks, and 10% of those are serious enough to require hospitalization. Oftentimes what we see are these teenagers are not stopping at just one, they're having 2 or they're having 3.
While most adults can safely drink about 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day, teenagers should not drink more than 1 cup.
Looking ahead now, an event aimed at helping those living in poverty in our area. Representative Carl Gilliard will host the Georgia Poverty Summit starting tomorrow from 9 to 3 to bring awareness to the issue. The event will take place at Savannah Technical College. It is free, but they are asking that you register. You can do that by calling 912-436-5325. This is a 3-day event that will feature a career fair, keynote speakers from organizations and government branches. The event ends on May 19th.
If you live in the 5th District, you'll want to know about a town hall meeting tomorrow night. It is sponsored by Alderwoman Estella Shabazz. It begins at 6:30 at the Savannah Civic Center. Shabazz plans to offer updates on the city's minority and women-owned business policies, but she will be available for other questions.
WSAV is offering you a way to get rid of those important documents that you have piling up at home. Our next Identity Safe Recycling Day is happening June 10th from 9 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. We will have locations in Savannah, Bluffton, and Statesboro. There is a 5-box maximum for paper, but you can also bring your old computers, speakers, keyboards for recycling.
Next at 10, opening up about the fight of her life.
How St. Jude has been key to a South Carolina teenager's cancer battle and how you can contribute to their life-saving work.
And coming up in the Complete Storm Team 3 forecast, we are heating up. The hot weather is back, and that's what we are tracking, including our next storm, and it's all after the break. You're watching WSAV News 3 at 10 on WSAV CW.